Brad Goss here with Justin Popovic, and again we're on the topic of social rules because people seem to really like this topic or hate this topic depending on what we talk about.
Yeah.
And
it gets traffic. That's the main thing.
Yeah, because you either fall on one side of the fence or the other. And so if you remember, the first social rule we talked about was the grocery store line. And from there we've kind of been almost looking for other situations where maybe, and I like to kind of bring entitlement into it because I think a lot of this has to do with your sense of entitlement, but situations where you're breaking social rules for your own entitlement purposes. And the one that we came up with, where we were out at a bar last week with our team, and your wife Jess and my wife Claire was there, and we were talking about this, and when I brought up this particular issue, everybody kind of fell on one side or the other with it, and everyone was really passionate about it, so I thought it would be a good issue to talk about. And it's the issue of tipping a restaurant host, and we'll go past restaurant host when we're finished here, but we'll start with the restaurant host. Tipping a restaurant host to avoid waiting for a table. And so the question is, you walk into a restaurant, you're with your wife, or you're with your girlfriend, or you're with a spouse or a family member or whatever, and you want to have a table quickly, and you walk in and the place is busy, and the maitre d' or the host says to you, "I'm sorry, sir, there's a 45-minute wait for a table."
Yeah.
Now, what would you do in that situation?
Before we had this discussion, obviously I'd just wait, like everyone else. It wouldn't even have occurred to me to do otherwise.
So most people wait.
I know what you're going to say, and I don't know. I think I might be leaning towards your side of the fence, which is?
I bribed the host or hostess with a $20 bill or $50
with the Tennessee
bill.
Handshake.
The Tennessee Handshake, which we'll demonstrate in a second. With $20 to $50, depending on the quality of the restaurant. I mean, if it's like if it's a sort of 4-star or below restaurant, I'll put $20 in the host's hand. If it's like a 5-star, 5-dining restaurant, it might take $100 or $50 or $100 to get in the door, depending on how busy the place is, how exclusive it is. But normally $20 is enough. Like if you're at a P.F. Chang's or something like that, you don't need to make the person behind the counter jump up and down. $20 would be enough.
Yeah.
And it is the difference, and it's something that I'll admit. I only started doing this a few years ago, and I only started doing it after I saw my dad do it once, and I was like, "Oh, if he can do it, I can do it."
Yeah.
And it literally has jumped the line for me. I walk in, "I'm sorry, sir, it's a 45-minute wait. Is there anything you can do for me?" Boom.
Yeah.
"Yes, sir. There's a table ready for you." Like, there's always a table.
They can make a table.
Yeah, they can make a table available, or they can give you the next table and jump you in the line as if you have a reservation.
Yeah. So the argument, though,
yeah.
And again, I may not be the best person to argue here because I don't know where I'm at. But the argument is that there's a couple. One is, well, what if it's someone on a night out and they just don't have the money to do that? And I know you say that, well, if you're at a restaurant, you can afford dinner, you can afford an extra $20 to get to jump the line, or you wait.
Yeah.
And okay, fair enough. Then the other one is, and this is more of my wife's argument than anything else, is what if it's a gift, or what if it's if another family is out and it's that old, it's that mother with the kids. It's her only time to be out, and she just can't. She doesn't have the 20, or somebody gave her a gift. Again, it's you can jump the line because you have it. She doesn't. You gotta wait. So.
Yeah. In my experience, if you're sitting there waiting for 45 minutes for a table, me coming in and jumping the line and getting a table faster than you doesn't diminish your night out experience at all. In fact, I do it so nonchalantly that you wouldn't even see me tip that host, and you wouldn't know. You would just assume that I came in on a reservation or something and jumped the line because of that.
Yeah.
So from that person, like in my view, that person doesn't really lose anything except a little bit of their time that they were already losing anyway.
You're not doing it to flaunt. You're not walking by everyone in the line and going ha ha and paying their money.
No.
Well, you're not.
No.
And so I think that's where you're probably going to win a lot of people over with the argument. So I don't know what you think.
I'm going to put a poll up on my blog underneath this video, and I want you to vote on one of the options that I put in the poll to see where you stand on this. But to take it to the next level, what I've done, and this is a brand new thing for me, is tipping a front desk clerk at a hotel.
Yeah, this is the one I would do.
Okay, so and we're going to demonstrate the Tennessee Handshake for you because it's very important to know this, whether you're tipping a concierge or a host or anything. So
practice makes perfect, so you might need to do this 10 or 15 times.
You might need to do this a few times.
Brad's an expert, he's a guru at the Tennessee Handshake.
I've done this a few times. So you take a bill and you basically fold it in 3 and then you fold it in half again, so you make a nice little square. like this.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And you put it in the palm of your hand like this. And when you approach the person that you want to tip, you grab their hand, and this is a good way to handshake anyway. You grab their hand with the left hand, you give them a handshake like this, and you say, "Thank you very much," you know, and then let it go. They know they're getting money. They're going to be just as discreet. Yeah, you have to give it back when we're done video. You have to be they'll be just as discreet when they pocket the money, and the transaction's done. Now,
you've already set it up with your approach. They know that.
Yeah, they know what's going on. And in my case, I've never actually put it out there where I've had to say, "Now you're going to look after me, right?" Or I don't actually say to the person, you know, "You're going to do me a favor now." It just becomes an unwritten contract at that point.
Right.
And so I checked into a hotel in Las Vegas in January, and I'd never done this before to a front desk clerk, but I was going to give it a try. And it was a nice hotel, and I wanted a really nice room upgrade. And normally a room upgrade of the caliber that I was looking for would cost me about $100 more per night. And I was there for 4 nights, so I'd be out $400 if I wanted that better room. And so when I checked in, I gave with a $50 bill, I gave the front desk clerk the Tennessee Handshake. He took the money, and he held it in his hand, and I guess front desk clerks aren't as used to being tipped as a host or a hostess, so he held it in his hand, he put it on the keyboard in front of him, and then he finally looked at me and he said, "Sir, did you want change for this?" Which threw me right off, because I was expecting, you know, a pretty easy transaction to go down here.
Yeah.
And I immediately responded with, "No, that's for you." And he said, "Oh, thank you very much."
That's all he said.
That's all I said.
Yeah.
And he picked up the phone, and he started typing away, and I overheard him on the phone. He said, "I have a special guest here. I'd like to bump him to a better room and to a new floor. And I see there's a handicap room on this floor. It's got this view. Can I give it to him?" Great. Hung up. That was that. We had a room upgrade. So $50 saved me $400 in that situation.
Yep. Well, where do you stand on that one too? You're gonna have to do 2 polls, Brad. So do you tip the host, or do you tip the front desk at a hotel? You decide. Let us know.